And that's why we have to make sure we have earbuds in, because then you start talking and you realize there's no audio because you have the microphone down. Let's do that again. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by BROC, the Batteries Orthopedic Clinic, PARISH Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedist, you go to BROC. You need a roof, you call PARISH. And boy, was there a bad storm yesterday. If anybody has roof issues, know someone who does, give us a shout. PARISHbuilt.com. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Semaglutide, tirzepatide. If the once-a-week injections for weight loss, you've heard about it, you're interested, they can do the whole thing over telemed, so you don't have to go in an office, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country and all throughout August. 50% off your first order, of course, or your first month, I should say, over at Unique Physique. All right. We'll say some good mornings here, y'all. A little disappointing news over at Saints camp on Thursday. Taliese Fuage left with a back injury. That is a total bummer. You went into camp really feeling like you had two certainties on the offensive line, Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. Everything else felt like it was very much in flux. Taliese Fuage seems like he has locked down your left tackle job. He's been quite good. Disappointing, though, to see him leave with the back injury. Hopefully nothing serious. My guess is, he doesn't play this week against the 49ers, which is fine. But at the same time, you need him to get reps. And he's transitioning from right tackle in college to left tackle in the NFL. You need him to get all the reps he can get. So bummer that he's out, but we'll keep an eye on that, see how it goes. LSU practiced yesterday, no media availability. Practice again today, no media availability. They'll practice Saturday. We do get to see that. Then they have a day off Sunday. And then, y'all, no availability Monday, Tuesday. They'll let us watch Wednesday. No availability Thursday, Friday. They scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, which we get to see. So we only get 3 more opportunities to see this team here before they head out to Vegas to take on USC. So we'll make the most out of those opportunities, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, y'all, smash the like button again. So a little bit of a schedule change. On Wednesday, when I brought Drew to school, we did an in-transit edition. Today, he goes back to school, so I figured let me start a bit earlier. I got to wrap up at like 7:40, 7:45. So that I can get him in. Well, I'll figure out his schedule and all, so we'll know an exact start time, but tried 7:15 today. So we'll see how this works. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, follow the page and all that stuff. Like the post. Okay, Ricky Lambert, good morning. Damon Gilmore, Brian Wynn, what's going on? Hey, Matt, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Jeff, good morning. Scott, we know Matt has the chat up at least. Well, so Scott, I'm using a streaming software called StreamYard. And so it allows me to send this so I'm streaming simultaneously to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. But the really cool thing about StreamYard as well, aside from being able to do the graphics and all that stuff, is it allows me to see a sequential chat, like from everybody, no matter where you're commenting. So like Mark Allen, did you see the LSU cigars? Yeah, that's from Bocock, and actually we're trying to work out a deal with them with something for whiskey and wine. They do sell them at Don Juan, and they did commemorative national championship cigars from the 2003 team when they had their 20-year reunion last year. I've not smoked one, but the wrappers look awesome, and I would I'd love to do a deal with them. So I think we might try to be working something out for whiskey and wine. Chance, I enjoyed your interview with Dylan Brooks's coach yesterday. Sounds like good. So Dylan Battle is the defensive tackle out of Arlington. Had his coach on AFR yesterday. It was a really good chat. I think what I took away most from that was Bo Davis. Whenever Bo Davis got the LSU job, he'd been recruiting Dylan Battle to Texas. And whenever Bo got the LSU job, he went over to Arlington to see Dylan Battle, and he talked to his coach, and the coach was, when he saw him pop in, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know LSU was that high on Dylan." He said, "I don't know if they are or not. I haven't even been to the office yet, but wherever I go, I want it." So that was very, very telling. Bo Davis wants him. I'm sold. Eli, if Kool-Aid shows enough in practice, Saints might deal Lattimore in the middle of the season to a team looking to make a run. If the price is right, Eli, I'm not opposed to that. And I've told you before, because Lattimore very likely could be gone after the season anyway, if you could recoup something for him, I'd be okay with that. As weird as that is to say, I just don't. I think the Saints are a sinking ship this year, and it's really disappointing. And it's a spot we haven't seen the Saints in almost 20 years, which is so disappointing. I mean, there have been times where they haven't lived up to expectation. You know, the back-to-back 7-9 seasons last year, but the last 2 years, but at least you went into the season with an expectation that they could be a playoff team and make a run. Like, I just don't see that at all with this team. This team feels like a sinking ship, and it's just a very different feel. And you might get to a point in the season where you have to move on. Quentin, good morning. Another Friday closer to LSU football. 2 weeks from Sunday. Can y'all believe it? 2 weeks from Sunday. A week from Saturday. We got football. We had week 0. Hey, Mark, good morning. Is Trevor Penning going to start at O-line game 1 for the Saints? I think so. I don't know that they have a better option. I mean, Dennis Allen said that. They keep playing Trevor Penning, and it's almost because nobody else has earned those reps. No one's said you have to put me in there. So, I mean, unless if they go make a trade for a veteran offensive lineman, but sure doesn't seem like they will. Rocky, good morning. The Parish building looks great. Thank you, Rocky. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're thrilled with the way it turned out. I'll be over there at 9:30. We have a Friday morning, standing Friday, 9:30, whole staff meeting. So, so I'm excited to get over there to the new office. If you haven't seen it yet, man, right there on Highlandia. So Highlandia runs parallel. Well, I guess our address is Lavo Lane, Lavo. So if you turn off of Highland onto Highlandia, your first left is Lavo Lane. At the end of Lavo Lane is where our office is. So exciting, man. It's great. They did it beautiful. I had nothing to do with the renovation of the office, but it's beautiful what they did. Kelly Gross, good morning. Make defense great again, Matt. The Saints have no choice but to trade for offensive line right now. Why are they sitting on their hands? Almost looks like a tank. I wouldn't mind it if they did. And I think there's a big difference between tanking and accepting reality. Tanking would be trying to lose. Accepting reality would be knowing your team is not a contender and you're going to make the most out of this season, right? Get some young guys experience, see what you got. Like, is Trevor Penning a viable option at right or at guard? I mean, you invested a high first-round pick in him. I mean, you have to determine what he can be. If Taliese Fuage is out for any length of time, which hopefully he's not. I mean, I've been singing this song for a long time. They need to go get David Bakhtiari. He was an all-pro before he got injured in Green Bay. Missed all of last year. Kick the tires. Well, it'll cost you nothing to bring him in to see if he can still play and move a little bit. Carl the Cat, more to Matt. ESPN releases Sam Ponder and RG3. Ponder is a shocker to me. Yeah, mostly with Sam Ponder because she hosts Countdown. I mean, Countdown is a massive ESPN property. And, I understand budget cuts happen. We see it all the time in media now. I'm really curious who's going to host Countdown now for ESPN. I mean, you're 2 weeks from the start of the season, 3 weeks from the start of the season. Mark, Stale Cracker is going to be meeting fans tomorrow in Denham. So I heard Terry wanted me to go over there and meet him. Tim Gautreaux, Brett DeGros, Brad David, good morning. Watch your interview with Jacques. Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, so I was on Jacques' podcast yesterday. Jacques Doucet from WAFB. So it was a good time to hang out with Jacques for a little bit yesterday. We literally recorded that yesterday. It was up just a few hours later. So, Mark, how do you feel about the Falcons getting Justin Simmons? I think that stinks. 1 year, $8 million deal, super bargain basement. the Saints certainly offered him as much, and he chose another team, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's trying to go somewhere where if the money's the same, go somewhere where he can win, and got a better chance to win in Atlanta than New Orleans. I think that's an objective reality. Jason, what's going on? Kicks of the day. Throwing it back a little bit. One of the first pair I bought, man. My Navy G Nikes with the gum bottom. I love those. Especially with the gum bottom. Haven't worn these in a while, but oops. There we go. Got him. Okay. Trivia, good morning. So, new start time. Waiting to see. Again, I'm sorry that this is a little fluid. So, forever and ever, I know we started at 7:30. Drew's school drop-off time for carpool moved up. So that's why on Wednesday we did an in-transit edition. Today I figured let me start a little sooner. I think, let me see how today goes with carpool, with the drop-off and everything. But I think our best case here, if everything goes today, is probably go 7:15 to 7:45 is probably going to be our best option there. But we'll see. Let me see how carpool goes today. Cliff, what up, man? Good morning. Brent, good morning. Jesse, let's see. Morning, Matt. Seems like the 1 year, $8 million deal Simmons got was doable for the Saints. What a miss. Oh, was this a miss or Simmons wanting to play for Atlanta? Oh, it's absolutely him wanting to play for Atlanta. I mean, there's no doubt the Saints could do 1 year, $8 million. It's if you go back and listen to anything I said, and I'm not saying you have to, Jesse, but that was my point last week, was Simmons clearly wanted a big deal at the start of free agency. The Saints weren't going to pay it. He remains unsigned for 3 months, so he lowers his number. Well, now teams are interested. So the Saints bring him in. Of course they did. They were interested early. And it's the same thing they did with Chase Young and the same thing they did with Willie Gay. They were 1 year prove-it deals for veterans trying to win a contract. And it was the same thing with Simmons. And he picked Atlanta. He lowered his price. He had more suitors. And so instead of going to the highest bidder, he went to the team with the best chance to win. Blown coverage, ever heard from Ocho? I'm bummed about it too. I guess I could take one more swing, but not super optimistic at this point. Tony, good morning. Been wanting to catch a live show all week. Tell you that the Saints game in Arizona was awesome to be at. The stadium had more Saints fans and Cardinals fans. Very cool. That's awesome. It does look like it looks like what they call it, the big giant toaster in the desert. But it's, it looks like a beautiful stadium from the inside. And anytime you get to go to a sporting event like that, it's awesome, even if it's preseason. So glad you had a good time, man. All right, let's see. Hey, Deborah, good morning. VK, what up, man? Let's see. You got it, man. Appreciate the invite. Scott Anderson, Matt, do we think the Saints will be able to turn around without making a change at GM? My opinion, no. Do I think they make a change at GM? I don't. Gail Benson is I think she's what you want in an owner. Seriously. In that she doesn't meddle. She hires people to do their job, then lets them do their job. Now, it's interesting because with the Pelicans, they did move on from Stan Van Gundy after 1 year. When they very clearly noticed something's not working, they moved on. Not so much with the Saints. So it's interesting that you have the same ownership, but very different approaches to managing those two franchises. Brad, what are your thoughts on ESPN firing RG3? It was Andrew Marshannon over at I guess is Andrew with he's bounced around. He used to be with Sports Business Journal. think he might be with the Athletic now. He had the story. It was budget. It's not surprising. Yeah, he's with the Athletic now. So it's not surprising. I mean, we've seen budget cuts all throughout media for years now. RG3 is a newer employee. Candidly, he was not very good calling games. And I'm sure was making a lot of money. So he was expendable. Sam Ponder was a bigger surprise because she's been the host of Countdown for 10 years now. And like it's so close to the season, like who's hosting Countdown? Brent, I would not be surprised if the Saints win 5 or 6. It's time to blow this thing up, start rebuilding. It's past time for that. But yeah, I'm leaning toward 5 and 12. I hate it. But the more I look at the schedule, the more I look at what they have, what they don't have. I keep leaning toward 5 and 12. Tony Williams, good morning. Ron Ritchie, good morning. Leon, good morning. Saw the Battle Kid play last season on a good Mansfield Timberview team. He's a man. Don't know why he's only a 3-star. Love to hear that, man. One of the things his coach told me in that interview was that throughout his career, Dylan Battle, who's the LSU 3-star defensive tackle commit from Arlington, he's basically been a guy that's had to just eat up double teams his whole career. And this year they finally have some depth to where he's going to be able to work on like his one-on-one interior pass rush. And if you see that and he starts like piling up stats, then maybe you start to see that star rating rise a little. But it's more about the offer list than the star rating. Weston Weaver, good morning. Let's see, Matt, did you see the cut up of Trevor Penning reps? Yes, I did. He's just not a tackle. He's not a tackle at this level. I think he's a physical point of attack run blocker, and he can play guard. And I think that's where he ultimately slots in. The challenge with that is you also used a pick on Nick Saldiveri where you moved up to the first pick of round 4 to take Nick Saldiveri, and with the expectation of him being a starter. And now, because Penning can't play tackle, you're going to probably have to move Penning to guard, and Saldiveri is just a expensive extra body on the field goal team. That's what happens when you miss. Eric, good morning. Firing Sam Ponder was an awful decision, guess, since she only did Countdown. She was expendable, did a great job navigating that show every NFL Sunday. That's true. It's not an easy job. She's been there a long time. Of course, Sam Ponder used to work on College Game Day and did sidelines and had sort of worked her way up there. Hang on one second, y'all. I'm going to go stop Drew's sound machine and all that stuff to kind of get him stirring, but I'm coming right back. Don't move. Okay. All right. Smash the like button if you would. As always, shout out to BROC. You need an orthopedist, go to BROC. They're the best. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Of course, if you need a roof, awful weather yesterday, Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Unique Physique and Restored Motions, semaglutide, tirzepatide, uniquephysique.com, and Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. All right, Devin, what's ESPN doing budget cuts for? They're making money hand over fist. Not exactly the case, Devin. I mean, if you look at earnings statements for ESPN and Disney, ESPN has continued to see its market share go down, its revenue go down, largely because of cord cutting. So they've had to restructure a lot of what they do, which is why you've got like ESPN. ESPN Plus, right? The subscription model, because the long story short of the history of ESPN is when they had no money and they were an upstart. Instead, like when the way cable networks worked was cable providers, like local cable providers, would pay rights fees. So like if we wanted to carry your channel, we would pay you to carry our channel. ESPN said, "Don't pay me anything. Just put me on the air. Make our channel an option for your customers, and if they buy it, we'll get a fee of based on what they buy. Well, then, of course, over time, everybody bought ESPN. I mean, everybody had every single household in America had ESPN. Of course you did. They built complete sports packages around ESPN. So, but as cord cutting has happened, you've had fewer cable companies or fewer cable subscribers. So ESPN's rights fees with cable have gone down. That's why you've seen ESPN's earnings go down. Let's see. T. Brazzy, until they fired Mickey and DA, were doomed. Kind of feels that way. I think Dennis Allen's gone after this year. Mickey, I'm not sure I believe as much. Alex Penning's going to get car injured. We'll see, man. Christian, good morning. Jared Weems, good morning. In school car line, catching morning. So I'm glad to have you there, Jared. Hope the kiddos are having a great start to the school year. Y'all have a great day. Hey, Rusty, good morning. Let's see, 1, 2, and 3 wide receivers for LSU. Kyron Lacey, CJ Daniels, Chris Hilton. And actually, Chris Hilton wears number 3, and Kyron Lacey wears number 2. CJ Daniels wears number 4. Wendell Norman, good morning. Jeff, what up, my dude? Good morning. Let's see. Bubba, good morning. Daryl, how's the family? Saints need a clean house. Family's good, man. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. I'm just scrolling back down here, guys, so I can get to some of these comments before we got to bounce. Only got a few more minutes left. Let's see. At least we have LSU to look forward to. I think so. I hope so. I think LSU's offense is going to be really good, and I think the defense is getting better. So I hope so. Brian, good morning from Smithfield, North Carolina. 2 weeks from LSU football. Dylan, James, Lewis, budget cut is just a cover for letting Ponder go. I think her comment on trans people is a bigger reason. Didn't see what you said, and I quite honestly don't care what you said. Abner, good morning. Brad, why do so many quarterbacks not work out in the NFL when they look good in college? Well, it's a different game. I mean, that's obviously a huge part of it. That's not just quarterbacks. That's every position. I mean, it's in the college game, you have 22 guys on the field. Maybe a few are actually NFL players, in the NFL, everybody's an NFL player. It's a dramatically different game. Dylan, good morning. Kenyon, if they fire Dennis Allen, will Loomis stay? That's what I think is going to happen. I mean, my goodness, Gail Benson has in her succession plan Dennis Lauscha and Mickey Loomis kind of handling things in that succession. So it's hard to imagine they're going to fire Mickey Loomis. And I think that's unfortunate for the organization, not because I want a guy to get fired, but because I think whenever you are operating as a manager or in any role with absolutely no accountability, that's a problem. And I'm not saying, I've said this before, I'm not saying you should go to work fearing for your job. No one should go to work in that environment. But my point is, there should be an expectation of you doing your job well. And if you don't do your job well, then you're not going to have that job anymore. That's true for all of us. If I stop prepping for a show and just mail it in every day and ratings plummet and revenue plummets, well, that's on me. And then I deserve to be fired. Tiger Dive. Come on, man. To celebrate somebody getting fired, man. Come on. Bradley, good morning. Guy Brooks, good morning. How much practice we get to watch tomorrow? At least an hour. So hopefully a little more than that, but we'll get to see practice. Hopefully we see some scrimmage sessions tomorrow as well. They typically do that on Saturday, and they have a recovery day on Sunday. And then so they're off Sunday, then no availability Monday, Tuesday. We get to watch Wednesday, then no availability Thursday, Friday. Then we get to watch a Saturday scrimmage in Tiger Stadium. All right, let's see. 2 more minutes. Daryl, good morning. How's the family? We're good, man. Thanks. Bubba, good morning. All right. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Have a great Friday. Michael, how do we get the new LSU Bud Light hat and shirt sent to me in Central Arkansas? Yeah, so my friends over at Mockler had these shirts printed. I showed one of them yesterday on AFR. It's a 100-year of celebrating 100 years of Tiger Stadium shirt. It's purple with a really cool the 100-year logo and the Bud Light logo. It's a really, really cool shirt. So everybody loves a good shirt, man. It's true. I don't know. I was lucky that I got one. Let's see when they're going to be slinging them. Carrie went to first Brewers game yesterday. Great experience. Stadium. Ohtani is a beast. Terrio always said his favorite place to play was at Milwaukee. That was his favorite ballpark. Interesting, right? Hate to say it. I think Atlanta wins the division this year. They should. They should. Just like the Saints last year when you had Derek Carr in a bad division, but you had sort of the best quarterback situation, should have won the division, but they didn't. But yeah, Atlanta should. They trade for Matthew Judon. They get Justin Simmons. We got Cousins coming off injury, but looks like they fortified their defense. They got a ton of skill guys on offense. You got a quarterback that's won a lot of games. Yeah. Loomis chewing his gum during the interview is the most smug thing I've seen recently. He knows he's untouchable. I agree. Deacon Alec Campbell, where's the next hat party for Parish? You know what? I'm going to talk about that this morning. So I got to go at 7:45. I got to go. We have our parish meeting. We do Friday night, standing Friday, 9:30 a.m. meeting. And I'll bring that up when we can plan a day to get that done. Maybe, next week is week 0. Maybe we could plan something around a week 0 game next week. If y'all be down for that, drop a comment. Let me know if you're down for that. We do a watch, like Florida State and Georgia Tech play in Ireland. There's probably a night game next week or something. Maybe we could plan something around that. So let me know. Okay, y'all. Thanks for being here. I got to bounce. I'm going to go back and link all of our sponsors in the description. My apologies. I was just in a little bit of a rush today to get started, but thanks for being there. Y'all have a great day. Locked on LSU is already live. So wherever you get podcasts or YouTube, Locked on LSU and AFR3. Y'all have a great day.